Hi, Mini Mike. What is up? Welcome back to the pod. Pod. Welcome back to the miniature Mike monologue. You guys. I really just got on here to say hi. I literally did. I have been doing so many things. So many things. So many. Over the last 2 weeks since I have been back in what I would consider is my home now. Los Angeles is my home. I want not only to build a home here, but I want to build my life here. And I've had to do a lot to get back here and to get settled. God has made so many ways. And like for the first time in a long time, I missed him. Like I missed hearing him. I think about where I should come back, where I should stay after having to move out of like my first place. And I didn't beat myself up about it. I didn't. Um, I gave myself grace. I operated with a lot of understanding and just compassion, knowing that in transition, I'm allowed, and even outside of transition, I'm allowed to do things imperfectly. And so I'm playing around with where I'm going to sit at where I'm at. I'm trying this out. There's another area over there that I want to try out that I might try out next week. But I could not conjure up something meaningful, intentional, elaborate, any of the things that I feel like I usually am able to sit down, think about, write down, or that come to my head or get dropped in my spirit to do the podcast today. My life has been a little bit chaotic, but I have never felt more myself. I've never felt more sure of myself. And when I tell you that absolutely nothing is sure in my life right now, I'm not kidding. I didn't even feel this settled, this sure, this confident like my 5th year. I felt a little bit of it. I felt like it was being walled off for a specific reason. And now I think it's because I had to be able to associate that sureness with my stillness because I was moving so much in college, doing so many things just because that is the name of the game. That's just its nomenclature. So I think I used that word correctly. I keep thinking like I'm just like, oh my gosh, I want to get back on the internet. I want to get back on the podcast. I want to get back on all these things and just be like, hi. Because everything is just like, oh, go here, do this, go here, do this. Like Baby Blue is in the shop right now. There was a malfunction internally, all under warranty. Praise be to God. They are fixing it, replacing the system entirely because it's such a tech fancy car. They didn't want to give me a rental because I'm not 25. And then I got there and they're like, we're going to give you a rental. I was like, praise God. And, I'm not going to be mean to myself. I scratched her. So we're trying to see if I can get that fixed because they have a body shop while they're there. I did scratch her. I felt absolutely disheveled. But it's just a car. It's just a car and it can be fixed and the scratches aren't big. So I refuse to be mean to myself. I just am, I feel like I'm just saying hi to my life again in so many different ways. So many things that I never really considered, I'm starting to consider. So many avenues that I didn't even know would exist have opened up and continue to open up just in my regular personal life. People I'm meeting, the people I'm around all the time, where I'm at, seeing different parts of the city, which I absolutely love because I didn't even know how big the city was. And I think some parts of it can just be big. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have to see it. They could just be big. Anyways, um but I am overjoyed with my current situation and I am not like pressing to have some spiritual type of consistency that does not reflect authentically where I am and what I am navigating through right now, because I think me trying to do the same thing in a different season would just inhibit my ability to sense the spirit consistently. And I am just doing my best. I'm only going to say this very quickly. I don't think I'm going to talk about it for a long time, but like, because I said I wouldn't talk about it on the internet, and I won't talk about it on the internet. Okay? I won't when it's in its developmental phases at all. When I was a kid, I used to think you had to get married and have kids. Literally. I was like, that's just your duty as an adult. You grow up, you get married, and you have kids. And then somewhere along the line, I discovered that you don't have to do that. And then for a while, I was like, do I want to get married? Actually. And then for probably 1 or 2 years, I was kind of like, no, I don't want to get married. I don't think. I don't think I want to get married. But then a couple years after, like more recently, I was like, okay, the concept aside, you know what I'm saying? Marriage is what it is. I am aware of what it represents spiritually, biblically. Dope, cool, all that stuff. Love that. Oh my God, I think that was the Alexa. Hold on. I just realized this entire time that I've been wearing this shirt that shows where I work. I have to take it off. I am going to have to blur all of that. That was like 7 minutes of conversation. Dang. All right, that was so effing creepy. The Alexa, good Lord. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I can't believe I just sat here for that long and I hadn't realized I was wearing. It is what it is. Anyways, back to marriage. I was just like, and I had a really thought-provoking conversation with my bestie baddie day one Anna about this last year, like September. I don't know, when she came back for some holiday. And she just talked to me so much about marriage and just in general, how most people, but specifically Christians, are so ill-informed about the familial history of their partner, the marriage history of their partner's parents, and get into a marriage, bring that baggage, and don't even know that they're bringing it, right? And she was like, and like Bessie Badiana is literally on the verge of getting engaged. I'm not even kidding. I'm so excited. I cannot wait for the day that it actually happens. But my point is, I think back to like when I was younger, I never thought about being in a relationship a lot, like ever. I just was like, once I got older, all I thought to myself is like, I want to be loved the way I've been loved my whole life. Intentionally, intimately, on a different level, like from what your parents do, what my mom did, what my grandparents did. And I was like, I want to experience the fullness of that because I know it's a gift that God gives. Therefore, I think I'm interested in marriage. That has just been like perusing around in my head a lot, because if I can have a humble, open, and transparent moment with you, until like my last 2.5 years of college, that might be a stretch, like maybe last 2, I was never really looking for a relationship. I wasn't looking, period, if you get what I'm saying. And then I felt like really late bloomer in that area. Like my hormones were just like 2.5 steps behind, and it didn't bother me. The last 2.5 years of my college career, they caught up. And I was like, oh, okay, right. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of me internally recently, as I've been considering like if I am really open to the idea of dating, because I am dating to marry end of story. I'm like, am I open to it, or are my hormones just trying to find their way? Valid. I'm not embarrassed. It's the truth. I'm like, is this true desire, or is this some early stage form of lust? Like, I am not above anything. I know that. I understand that. I'm also like a hypochondriac when it comes to doing anything wrong. So anytime I even suspect it, I'm like, yep, snuff it out. I'm getting better at that. I'm like, yep, you are. You're doing that. Snuff it out. I've dropped that off a lot. And so I'm being much more lax about this and letting myself feel things and figure it out. And I had a moment where I was like, I really don't think I am. Like, yeah, I think I see things differently. I feel things differently. I experience them differently now. But when I wasn't lax about it, I was able to be like, that was not interest. That was lust. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot. It is a lot. And it's like that. I'm saying hi to that part of my life potentially, because I literally have been walking around the earth for the last, I'll give it 12. So almost 12 years. Nah, let's give it 14. Let's give it 14. So almost 10 years. Not even considering the prospect of a boy. Like, I just haven't been. Part of it was fear. I kid you not. Part of it was fear. But the other part of it was I was so dadgum busy, and I was so dadgum committed, and I was like, you are a distraction. And then part of it was really like, I really do feel like I like that kind of like attraction, that all of that hormone thing really turned on late for me. Because sometimes I would hear girls having conversations about their boyfriends or people they had crushes on. I'm like, he's not that cute. You know what? And like, not just because I'm attracted, I'm just like, it's just not all that. Like, even guys that I thought were attractive, I was like, okay, and like the other part of me was kind of just like pushing it away, because it's like, we're not doing this. Scary. You know what I'm saying? And so I am just like, that's not to say I haven't had any, interactions, experiences, whatever you want to call them. I'm not saying that, okay? What I am saying is that I just am now looking at it from a different angle. Like, I might be like, sure. You know, like, sure. But then again, I think I'm looking at everything from a different angle now, because I said it in my video I did when I got back to LA and I was sick. My voice is hoarse because I was screaming, not because I'm still sick, thankfully. But I was just like, it really feels like I'm an adult now in so many ways that are very hard to explain. And I feel like a lot of the work I did to steady myself, ensure myself, that I thought was for the version of me that was in high school, was for this version of me right now, which is dope. And I am just like, period queen, let's keep it going. I have learned to like say hi and bye to my understanding of my attempt at understanding, I guess, how God moves, how he operates, what he wants and what he intends, because I am not going to figure that out unless he tells me. So why would I waste time doing that when I could be living life, when I might miss what he's trying to communicate in a way that's not me trying to rely on what I once relied on. And what I mean by that is like trying to rely on the ways that he once used to communicate to me, or the lifestyle that I operated in when I was a college athlete. Because it's very clear that those seasons, besides the physical aspect, are intentionally very separate from one another. And those two versions of me are intentionally very separate from one another. For a long time, all I would want to do is like go back and watch volumetrics and like go see what I was doing and love on it and relish it, which I will always want to do that because I love film. I am just a volleyball nerd, okay? But when I came back and kind of when I was at home, I was just like, I don't want to look at it anymore. And it meant something that is very hard for me to pinpoint. because I always wanted to look at that. I always wanted to be around it. I always like had the itch, but I knew I needed to step away before I decided to go play pro, if that's still what I decide to do, which I think I will. And now I feel like I have enough distance from it. I can't even really believe that it's been 2 years because I was around it so much last year, like so much. Like the LMU people, other things, like I just was like, okay, it still feels like it's kind of going on. But the point being, I just kind of look at that era of my life and I'm like, yeah, I did that. I did exactly what I wanted to do, and I don't feel the need to want to do it again or want to do it anymore. I want to do what's next. And if volleyball appears, slay queen, I just feel like I'm saying hi. Like all these things are just like, hey, hi. Oh my gosh, hey. Like, what's going on? Oh my gosh, hey. Like, it's just how I feel. It's just how I feel. And I really don't have anything else to say. I am happy that my curls are kind of going back. I've been lenient on the gel because like at some ports, at some parts there's still a little resistant, but I think I need to get a little more lax on it because you see this, are you seeing this? Like this versus this, and I'm like, it should not be doing that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm stretching it. Sorry, the mic was held down really low. But I just wanted to get on here and say hi. Doing a thumbnail. I'm going to leave that in the video. I feel like I don't know who I am. Like, and it doesn't freak me out, Because it's like, that's the point. You evolve. You're supposed to like know yourself, then not know yourself, then know yourself and not know yourself. And then you're not going to know everything about yourself ever, period. And sometimes that's scary because it's like, I should be the one who knows the most. No, you shouldn't. I think that's like, that could be an idol, especially for me. That definitely could be an idol, especially for me. I'm going to go. I missed you guys. I literally been thinking about you guys all week because I always want to bring my best, put my best foot forward. Next week we'll sit in a different location unless I decide that this location is the ish, period. And I miss my friends. I'm kind of far from them right now. That's the only downside. But once I get baby blue back, I'm in like my brand new car, so like I can drive down to see them. But Anna's back at school, which makes me very upset. I don't think I've ever loved anyone like I love that chick. Literally. And same goes for Sam. Like they're very similar, but they're very different. But like Anna, like she's low key like the other half of my soul. I don't know how to explain that to you. I'm sure she would say it very similarly, but God, I love her and I love Sam. And let me just tell you, if you're lonely now, you won't always be lonely. Trust me. Trust me. It's worth the wait to have real people in your life. It's worth the wait to have God send people to be your friends because people want to befriend you, not for the sake of friendship a lot of the time. We're going to end on that. Okay? Bye.